You're watching it. So basically, Weight Watchers is sort of like, you know, they're most like famous for their product of like losing weight, right? So they have like a diet and all that stuff. I've never tried it. So, but the reason why this stock could be going up is because a lot of people are fat. They want to get skinnier, right? And then maybe this is the most popular one. And especially for Weight Watchers, right? Everybody who's like watching their weight, right? They're more likely to like talk to their friends, like, "Oh man, you look beautiful. How'd you lose so many pounds?" And then they'll tell their girlfriend, "Oh, you know, I was on this great diet." So that means this company will go up, right? So that's a possible thing. And then Apple, obviously, right? People think Apple can go down, can go up. So does that make sense? So value and growth. So was that interesting? No.
So Apple's on the short and the long list.
Right. And then I'll show you how you can analyze this too, to see whether it's value or cheap. First of all, you can do research to find out what the company does, think about it, and then the prices that we did in class. I'll show you how that works. Let's see.
Do you frequently people put like just false reviews just to sway a company? That happens a lot.
Yeah, of course. Happens all the time. There's always like thousands of reviews. I mean, they all say like different, same things. Okay, cool. Oh, 8:25. A long time. Let's see what I want to do first. So what we're going to do is I'm going to assign some of these stocks to everybody. And you don't have to do much, but like I just want you guys to know what the company does. I'm sure you can do that in any language. These companies are famous, so don't lie to me. Okay. Let's actually go over. Okay, I covered some of this in the mock class, but then I want to show you how it ties in together. So I can erase this because I want to. Let's see. Okay, cool. So I just want to review this technical analysis because now we can actually use it. So during the mock class, I showed you guys technical analysis, just very quickly. What certain things do, how to look at prices and stuff like that, right? So now let's apply it, but for these companies specifically, right? And then I'll get much further next class probably. Any questions? Never. Okay, so let's do Starbucks. So just if anybody doesn't know, they do coffee. Their coffee is really good. Everybody likes it. Some people doesn't. I don't know. No idea. Okay. So let's look for this company. So you remember in Laura's class, every company has a symbol, right? So let's say my name is Royce Huang, right? My symbol would be like RHS or something. I don't know, right? But this is like your tag, right? Because a lot of people have the same names in the world. So then you try to like give a symbol for them, right? So like UG is number 2246, right? Like yeah, right. So yeah, you know, just like that. So they give you IDs sometimes. So, okay, cool. So let's look at Starbucks. So search on Google. So actually, what I want you guys to do is actually use Yahoo Finance. Because Yahoo Finance, so you can use either Google Finance or Yahoo Finance. So, Google Finance, Yahoo Finance. They're both pretty good, but Yahoo Finance loads faster. If your computer's slower, it loads faster. If your computer is fast, it loads even faster. Right. So. Okay, so you can go to google.com and then you search Yahoo Finance. Sort of like being a trader, right? And then usually at the very top, you can just click on Yahoo Finance, right? Oops. Okay, do you guys see an area over here that says get quotes? Yes, no, maybe so. It's in yellow. It says get quotes, right? So quotes is the same thing as like symbols, almost, right? So basically, we don't know their symbol, but we can type in, for example, if you type in Starbucks. Oh, well, this thing is just terrible. It doesn't tell you that. Oh, right. There you go. So if you start typing in Starbucks, right, from the drop-down menu, they'll let you pick from stuff, right? So this is probably SBUX, because we're not looking at the Starbucks in Japan or the small division in Frankfurt, okay? So usually when you search for the stock, right, if it says like, do you remember from Laura's class, NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange, it's like something big. Like if it says like Japan, right, you're only going to get the Starbucks in Japan. So that means the symbol for Starbucks is SBUX. Are you all there? And just click on it. No good thing? Oh, I already started. Okay, so let's look at Starbucks right now, right? So how much is Starbucks right now? Someone just tell me very quick.
48.34.
Yep. So they're $48.34, right? Okay. So under this big number, right, you have this box that has all the details, right? We went over some of them in class. So previous close is like what price it closed the previous day. But I'll cover the ones that make sense. So, okay, let's look at, so if you see over here, 52-week range. I want to look at that first. Usually, no matter like what site you use, you'll be able to find this like very close to the details, right? So 52 weeks, right? There's one year has 52 weeks. That's what it means, right? It has 52 weeks. So that's all they're saying. It's just fancy. So, okay, so this range is from $30.75 to, what is it? 49. Okay. So just from looking at this, right? What does this tell you? So that means Starbucks' price is right here, right? But that means this price is closer to the higher thing, right? So that means the person who wrote the article thinks that even though Starbucks is at the 1-year high, previous 1-year high, they think it's going to go higher to 64. And that's very possible, right? That could definitely happen to the company, right? Cool. So you might want to start reading some articles just to, they don't need to be fancy articles. All these articles will say is like, oh, Starbucks might go up in the future because people start liking coffee more. You can research and find out, and I'll show you where you can get research too. But so this is like a first check, right? Because if this was lower, like around $31, then you might think, oh, wow, that could be a cheap stock. That means it can go all the way up to $48 and more from 31. Does that make sense? So from here, you haven't realized whether it's a cheap or but clearly that person thinks it's going long, so it's going to make money. Okay. Now, the other thing we looked at was price over earnings. Okay. So there's a lot of so in finance, right? We have a lot of fractions, right? Like back in school when you're 1/2, 1/3 and stuff, right? You have a lot of fractions. So one of these fractions is, if you see over here, it's P over E, right? So we went over this last time, right? But price, P just means price of the stock. Any questions there? It's just stock of the price. Just do that. Boom. Right? So this is easy. Earnings. Oops. Earnings per share. So what do you think earnings are? Right? Making money. Right? you go to work, you have earnings. So earnings per share means that for each stock, so let's say you look at a company, right? A company is has this much stock, or whatever, right? They make a certain amount for every share. So let's say this company was made out of 100 people, right? That means Midori makes, $1 billion, right? Royce makes $1 million, whatever. Does that make sense? So each of us makes a certain amount of money, and we add it all up because we work for the company, right? So this is what it means, earnings per share. So price is easy, everyone has that. And I'll show you where you can find earnings per share. So earnings per share is right under PE actually. P over E. It says EPS. Another good thing about finance is you can usually find out the definition from a lot of words like growth, value. But also, a lot of these abbreviations is the first word in what you're saying, right? So you remember we said GARP, growth at reasonable price, right? And in this case, earnings per share is EPS, right? Pretty easy.
What is DDR?
DIV,
Oh, P. This one?
P over E?
Yeah.
Yes.
P over E after TTM and
Yes.
also EPS after TT.
So TTM means last 12 months.
Huh?
It means last 12 months. That's what it means. So I actually have to find out what the T means, but it means TTM. It means last 12 months. I always use these weird.
Last T, right?
Yeah. Oh, trailing 12 months. Well, it's the same thing. So TTM means, so if you see right next to the PE, there is trailing 12 months. Okay?
It means the same thing, right? The last 12
Yeah.
months.
So, so we use this in finance to represent a lot of variables because let's say it's February 8th, right? That means that if somebody tells me in the past year this company got 5% return, that doesn't reflect what happened in January and February, right? So last 12 months, 1 year has 12 months, right? So that means that if today is January 28th, I don't remember what today was. Anyway, if today was January 28th, this is from January 28th, 2012 to January 28th, 2011, right? Last 12 months. They say trailing, right? But trailing, they also use LTM. Last 12 months. Trailing 12 months, just same thing.
So equal 52 weeks range? No?
Where do you see 52 right?
Because this means
52 weeks has 1 year, yes. And then 12 months is also equal to 1 year.
so this means 1 year average? Average of 1 year.
Yeah, pretty much. Or yeah, just not average, but just, that's the number for past 12 months. Average is a very So for example, right, if you see EPS, earnings per share, that's earnings per share of stock for the past 12 months, right? Because this number could be 341 in 2011, right? Right? But if you take the last 12 months, that means starting from January 28th, it'll be maybe 3.43. So a lot of people like to use the last 12 months because let's say you're in December, right? Obviously you can't just say, oh, I'm just going to give you 2011 stuff, right? People want to know the most recent. So the reason why they use these abbreviations is because most recent information. Does that make sense? Answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, so price over earnings. Does just this make sense so far? So price over earnings, I'll explain it in a second. Earnings per share and price of the stock. Price per share. Right? So what this actually